Let's have a conversation.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mark here of Mindful Reality. I have not done a Let's Have a Conversation in a while. So, for those of you who are new, let's have a conversation. When I was doing my other page, Music and Mental Health, and that page started to take off a little bit, it was during Big Brother season 24. And then during the off season, I was kind of wondering what to do in terms of my topics. So during a show, when the show is actually ongoing, there's so many things to talk about. It's just figuring out when and where and how. Okay, this is happening, this fight is happening, this person got evicted or this person got eliminated, and I don't have to think about the topics. But during the off season, I developed this thing that I started calling live conversations with Mark, where based on what I'm reading on different social media platforms and based on what people are saying and things that I'm thinking about myself, we have mindful discussions, which means our discussions are different than what you might find on another page. They are still related to reality TV, but they're discussions that focus more on the mental health side. That's not to say that they're like mental health discussions per se, but you'll get to know over time, if you haven't already, that the way that I talk about these people are different than what you'll get from the majority of the channels that you'll see, which is why it's called Mindful Reality. That's my little infomercial. Hello, Vicky. Good evening. How are you? So, my discussion today is work colleagues don't have to be friends. And specifically, when I say work colleagues don't have to be friends, not everyone knows this, but everything that I watch, I kind of see how I can draw the parallels to my own life. So a lot of people watch these shows and don't think of these people as work colleagues, and they don't think of this as a work environment. They are actually working, and their work environment, well, they're in the entertainment business when they sign up to be on one of these shows. So their job is to entertain, and they're also competing, and they're trying to win some money. So I think about that in comparison to my own life. So I have my own job, my own regular, 9 to 5 work that I've been doing for years at various companies. And I have to go into a building. Well, not anymore, but before the pandemic, I used to have to go into a building 5 days a week, 40 hours a week, sit in there. And within that environment, there were people I liked, there were people I did not like, and there were people who I was just indifferent towards. So, to give an example, I had these colleagues of mine. One colleague was pregnant and they were about to go out on maternity leave. So I had two coworkers that worked in an office with me, and I would say that well, one of them was my friend. The other one, we were cordial. I didn't have any problems with them, but I would just say we were cordial. We were not friends. But one of them I was friends with. We became friends outside of the job. So what happened with that was they brought this card because they were going to have this surprise party for that lady who was going out on the leave. And they bought this card, they were going to do this surprise baby shower type thing. So they were like, we're going to go buy this card and we're each going to contribute, let's say we want to put $100 in the card. So we're each going to contribute 30 something to put in the card. 30, 30, 40, or whatever we decide, whatever they decided, because I was not a part of this decision. And we're going to put that in the card, sign it, give it to her. I said, oh, no, thanks. But that's nice of you. They looked at me shocked, like, what do you mean, no thanks? I said, no thanks, as in, I'm not contributing to the card. So they were like, oh, but this was supposed to be on behalf of the office. So if you don't want to put your contribution in here, then we are just going to give this card on behalf of the two of us, and your name's not going to be on there. And I said, you can do that. That's fine. Again, I think they were shocked by that answer. Then they had their baby shower thing in the lunchroom at lunchtime. Um, I didn't really participate. I did walk up to that person and tell them, hey, congratulations on your upcoming baby. That was it. I walked in the room. My lunch was in the room, so that's the only reason I had to go in the room. I said that to her and I left. And I'm telling you, this person was not my friend. This is a person that we've never had any kind of meaningful conversation. I would pass by her in the hallway. I would say good morning. I would say good evening if I happened to see her before I left. But that was the extent of it. But these people made me feel as though I was doing something wrong by not contributing to that card and by not going and staying in there for an hour and whatever for that surprise baby shower. Leave work and it stays where there when I would go home. Can't won't take it with me. Yeah, perfectly fine with me. Congratulations without money to be given. So I say all that to say, I saw people talking about they were using examples of why they don't like Cara Maria. I know there's a lot of people who like her, but there's a lot of people who don't like her also. So for some of the people who said they don't like her, they were using an example of when Jordan proposed to Tori on one of the challenge seasons. They were saying they didn't like her attitude and she showed she was a negative, nasty person and she didn't participate in that engagement party that they threw for them. My thoughts on that on a personal level. Let's say a colleague that I don't like, not even a colleague like this one that I'm talking about, who we were indifferent towards each other. I didn't like her or dislike her. She was just there. I was just there. We were cordial. We didn't even work in the same department. So our jobs didn't overlap. We didn't talk outside of work. We didn't have each other's numbers. We were just cordial people who passed each other once in a while, once in a blue. But if there was a case of a coworker that I specifically did not like, and everyone was like, we're going to have this party for this person, would I go? I feel like my answer is no, to be honest. And in this case, Jordan, Tori, Jordan and Tori as a pair, as they were a couple at that time, and Cara did not like each other. They got under each other's skin. They were not fans of each other. So Cara didn't participate. She didn't attend. And then I think I recall Tori being like, I don't think that was nice. If it was me, I would have done that. That's a personal thing, to be quite honest with you, because maybe in a challenge environment, I will say game based only. Maybe in a challenge environment, I might participate in that just to not look like that person so that people would not have a reason to vote me into eliminations and they wouldn't think I'm this like nasty person. But just generally, take away the show, the competition, and the money, the TV aspects of it, and let's just say that that happened in my work environment. Someone I don't like is having some kind of celebration for something. I'm not going. I used to have coworkers in one of my old jobs who every Friday, they not all of them, but several of them would gather together and go to this bar that was nearby the job. They would all go to the bar and they would have drinks together and they would just whatever, have fun together. But and they invited me. They stopped inviting me after a while, but they used to invite me like, "Hey, why don't you stop by? Hey, it's right down the road. It's a good way to unwind." When I wanted to unwind, I didn't want to be around them because it's like when you go to work, you spend more time with your family. You spend more time with your colleagues sometimes than you do with your own family. And like, secondly, yeah, I wanted to escape from work. And then I'm thinking of environments like a Survivor, like a Big Brother, like a Challenge, any one of these shows really. But mainly those endurance shows, not endurance physically always, but like endurance as in you have to be on there for 60 days, 90 days, whatever it is. I'm thinking about those shows, and you now live with your colleagues. I have colleagues right now at work that I like them, I like them so much in a job environment, but I know that in the job environment, we're only doing so much together. Like we're working together, we have a common goal, there's only so many variables. And so I know that in that limited capacity, we could be perfectly cool. But then put us in a house. Now their habits in the house, now we're having different conversations, a lot more outside of job type of conversations, because let's be real, we see the show will chop up several days of footage into like little snippets of conversation that are all game related or majority game related. But they talk about their families, they talk about politics, religion, they talk about what they think about probably the abortion policies, they talk about anything and everything that you could think of. And we only see so much of it. So sometimes it's like we'll see two people who haven't been getting along for a big variety of reasons, but they'll only show that one discussion where they started fighting. And then you're looking at one of the people and you're like, why did this person attack that person for nothing? It's not often for nothing. But my main overall point here is simple. Just like we don't like everybody, and just like we don't like all of our coworkers, we don't like everybody that we encounter. The people who go on these competition shows, even the ones like the challenge, who go on the same show with a lot of the same people year after year, they don't really have to be friends. I mean, it's best for them to try their best to be friendly colleagues at the very least for work. That's what I always try to do. That's my aim in life. I do not give people hostile energy, even if I don't like them. If I don't like them, I just kind of either ignore them or keep my interactions with them simple and short. But even though it's best for people to get along just for the sake of the harmony of the overall house and for the enjoyment of their time in the house and to have less enemies against them, it does happen sometimes where people just don't like each other and never will, and that's okay. That's a quick, simple message for the day. Please drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. Do you feel like you have to be friends with all your work colleagues? Do you find that to be a requirement to get along? Do you think that people in a house competing for money have to be friends in the game, outside of the game? Let me know what y'all think. And I hope everybody has an amazing night.
So you literally were one of my very first followers. And then when you followed me and I, followed back, I was like, this dude is cool. Like,
if they say talk to your manager, you just say, you know what, talk to the hand. You don't need to be on my podcast. but yeah, dude. Yeah, you do a great job.
Thank you. I always get a kick out of talking with you on Patreon. You have a really good, view on it.
That wasn't planned.
You know what? But I like this Canadian. I like this one.
Well,